Hello, and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I am here today with your Cancer season, Solstice, Mercury Retrograde, reading for the collective. Y'all, it's a big time. There's a lot going on here. If you are new around here, I do these readings on the first day of every new astrological season for creative entrepreneurs to let us know what to expect in the season ahead. Obviously, this is a big season, given that today is both the start of Cancer season. It is the solstice, the summer solstice, if you're in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice, if you're in the southern hemisphere. And it is Mercury retro shade. We're not quite fully into Mercury retrograde, but it is coming and it's going to be with us through the end of this astrological season. Before we get started, I just want to say, based on these cards, who this reading is for is in need of taking some major action on your inspired ideas. You know what you need to do. You know what you want to do. Your struggle is that you are overthinking and underacting. You are under implementing. And I just want to share that if you are in need of support to make sure that you reach your big goals for this year, there's still 6 months left of the year. It is completely possible for you to hit your goals, but there is a need for support. I have 2 one-on-one coaching spaces available for a Q3 start. So we could start in July and carry you through the end of the year. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, you can DM me on Instagram, just DM me one-on-one. You can also go to the link in my bio on Instagram at Intuitive Edge Coaching, and you will see all of the information. You could go to intuitiveedgecoaching.com and click on the services button, and you can apply to work with me one-on-one. So I just want you to know that if you are in this place where you have big ideas, big goals, you had a huge revenue goal for the year, and so far this year, you have been spinning out, overthinking and under implementing, and you need support to get yourself out of the overthinking spiral and into taking the inspired action required to actually hit your goals, then I am happy to support you in that. I have 2 spaces available. You can reach out and talk to me about that. So someone on Instagram, Hi Face Yoga Rituals, says, OMG, this is exactly what I realized I'm still doing. Well, this reading is for you, so buckle up. If you're new to my readings, I ask the same 6 questions in the same order every time. So let's just jump in. Usually I read with notes, but today I'm not because this reading was so crystal clear to me that I did not feel like I needed them. So the first card that comes up is what is going on right now. And what's going on right now is inspiration. You know what you want to do. You have a big inspired idea. A huge inspired idea. Now, the issue is you're worried that the idea is too big for you. You're worried that you will not personally be able to bring this idea into fruition because it is so big, so inspiring. It is a big action. It's going to require a lot of effort. This card is covered in bees. And in the book, it talks about how bees have these little teeny tiny wings compared to the size of their body, but the wings move so fast that things get off the ground. When you have big inspiration, you need to take fast action. You need to cut the time between the inspiration and the motion. You need to get into action. This inspiration that you have, this inspired idea that you're carrying, is not just for your benefit. It is for the benefit of humanity. It's for the benefit of the collective. It is needed. It is sacred. It is ordained that you do this thing. You are meant to do it. And you're doubting yourself. You're saying, this is so big. This is the theme of this reading. This is so big. There's no way only one person can do this. Well, guess what? Only one person is not supposed to do it. You're supposed to get help. Look, Cancer season, I'm going to tell you right now, the wound that this person has, the wound that you are tending, is the wound of hyperindividualism. If you are a hyper-individual person, if you're, I can only depend on me. I'm the only person who comes through for me. I'm the only person who can get things done. That is a trauma response from being abandoned and left alone and let down too many times. It's not true. It is the story you tell yourself to prevent yourself from being hurt. So your way of surviving up until now, all of your survival archetypes are, I have to do it alone. I'm the only one who can count on me. I have to do everything myself. If I want things done right, I'm the one who has to do them. No one comes through for me. People aren't there for me. How are you going to have a huge impact and a big place on earth operating from lone wolf? You cannot be lone wolf and reach your vision. You just can't do it. And like this is going to come up all the way through this reading. So this is the wound coming to the surface for you to heal this Cancer season and this Mercury retrograde. All of these wounds you have around only I can do everything. I have to do everything myself. That's got to go. Starting with like just getting yourself help, whatever that help is that you need. If it's you need to hire a team, you need to get a coach, you need to get into therapy, you need to like let the people who offer to help you help you. You might already have a team and not really be using them or delegating to them because you're telling yourself they're not going to come through and do the things that they're supposed to do. No one can do it as good as you, right? You're hyper managing everybody. Like you have this huge idea that is meant to benefit the collective. And you're telling yourself, oh my God, this idea is too big for me. There's no way I can do it by myself. It's because you're not supposed to do it by yourself. That's the thing you have to get out of. So what's the block? The block is bringing it into form. It's that you are overthinking and underacting. The block is that you are focusing on your inspired ideas. You're journaling about them. You're talking about them. You're ruminating on them. You're thinking about how great it's going to be. You're thinking about how good it is, but you're not actually doing. Right? The world doesn't need your inspired ideas. It needs your inspired actions. The world doesn't need your idea about a book. It needs your book. It doesn't need your great idea for a song. It needs your actual song. It doesn't need your brilliant idea for a healing program. It needs your actual healing program. You have to bring the idea into form. You have to doula your creations into the 3D. And right now, the block of your inspired action is that you're not doing enough doing. Lots of thinking, lots of talking, lots of worrying about how it's too big for you and it's not going to work out. Not a lot of actual direct action to like build the thing. We need the action. A little less conversation, a little more action, please, is the theme of this entire reading. Like this is going to be short because it's so fucking straightforward. You just need to start building and stop talking yourself out of shit. So what's the gift that comes when you start bringing your inspired idea into form? The gift that comes is spirals of manifestation. You see the spirals on the card. Manifestation is not linear. Creation is not linear. It's spiral, right? It's just this wheel that's turning and turning and turning. Now, the way that you can tell that you've grown, right? The same situations, the same challenges, the same types of people are going to keep showing up in your life over and over. The way that you can tell how much you've grown since the last spiral is how you react differently this time. And if you react the same way as you did last time, you're not expanding on the spiral. You're in a loop. You're just circling. Oh, this same type of person showed up. I behaved the same way. I got the same outcome. Loop, 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 loop. Your growth happens when you grow after the situation. And then that same kind of person shows up. And this time you're different. You don't react the same way. That person can't phase you as much. And you just keep moving on that spiral. Things become a little road bump, a little hiccup, not a devastating loss, right? That's how growth works. That's how manifestation works. It's not that you don't have the same challenges anymore. It's that when you encounter those challenges, you're not the same. You can't step in the same river twice, right? So spirals of manifestation showing up as the gift is that you're going to be different. You're going to be in motion now. You're not just going to be ruminating, overthinking, not acting. You're acting. You're getting new feedback. So you're acting, you're going to encounter some challenges, but you're going to react differently this time. And you're going to see that things that used to stress you out and hang you up don't do that anymore because you're now in motion. You're now continuing to take action. You're now getting help. You have new people around who are helping you out. And the things that used to take you out, stop taking you out. The other thing about spirals of manifestation is that one of the reasons you're overthinking, one of the reasons you're not taking action and you're telling yourself that your idea is too big for you is because you're trying to look at things linearly as this step, then this step, and this step. You're telling yourself all these things have to happen in order for me to be successful. However, growth is not linear. The thing that you want is actually like just around the corner. It's around the next bend of action, around the next bend of manifestation. So you're telling yourself that this thing is going to be too hard because it's going to take too long because there are too many steps and it's going to be too hard for you to do yourself. You're going to bring in other people to help you. You're going to start getting into motion. And then this time you're going to see, oh, actually, the manifestation was closer than I knew. I just couldn't see it because I was looking straight ahead and it was like to the left, right? You were not looking for it where it was. You need to trust that everything that you're working toward is trying to work its way toward you. You are actually the block because you're not bringing in the people who can help you and you're not taking the action. So it seems really far away. Everything seems really far away when you're not in motion. You're looking off at the horizon and you're going, oh, that's so far away. Well, it's going to get closer if you get up and walk, isn't it? So get up and walk and it will start coming towards you. What is the gift that comes when you do that? The gift that comes is free to judgment, free to love. This card is about the energy of mothering, which is really interesting coming into Cancer season, the universal mother, the archetype of the mother. Now, this is not necessarily about human children, this mothering. This is about mothering a community, a mission, a vision, an organization, being the fierce protectress, the nurturer of the thing that you're trying to bring into form. So this big energy, this big idea that you have, you need to act like it's mama bear. You need to be its most ferocious protector. You need to get it out into the world. You need to defend it against potential danger from everyone, including yourself. You need to defend it from your selfishness. You need to defend it from your limiting beliefs. You need to defend it from your self-doubt because this thing that you're trying to create, A, it wants to be created through you, but B, this is for the collective. This is about you allowing yourself to mother a movement, a community, to be the parental guiding force to all of the clients that you're going to serve, all of the people that you're going to help with your work. They all need you. So allowing yourself to experience this greater kind of love, right? Free from judgment. It's free from self-judgment so that you can let yourself love on this greater level. But also, this card is about allowing yourself to receive. What this card talks about is that if you want to give more than you've ever given before, you have to receive more than you've ever received before. Back to this hyper-individual wound. The level that you have right now is the level you're willing to accept. It's the level you're willing to accept in terms of money. It's the level you're willing to accept in terms of help. Bigger than this, it's the level you're willing to accept in terms of visibility, acclaim, people fucking with you, people liking you, people really believing in you and your work, people buying from you. Where you're at now is what you believe you're capable of having, what you believe you're worthy of holding. Working on this larger level, this Cancer season wound to heal, is I can receive so much more. What happens if your idea is really as big as you know it to be, and you start bringing it into form? You start letting people help you more than people have ever helped you before. You start letting people see you more than people have ever seen you before. You start letting money come in more than money has ever come in before. And you go, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that help, right? Back to that wound of hyperindividualism. If you believe that people are always going to let you down, that nobody shows up for you, that nobody comes through for you the way you come through for other people, if that's your expectation, right? Because the law of manifestation is not just ask, believe, receive. It's also working with the law of massive action. That's you bringing it into form. And the law of expectation. What do I expect the outcome to be, right? Which is also tied into the believe part of manifestation. You want huge acclaim. You want tons of people to know your work. You want to make this huge impact. You want all these people to love your work. You want all of these people to buy from you. You want all of this money. You want a team that runs without you. But you expect everyone to let you down. You expect to be misunderstood. You expect to be the lone wolf and the black sheep. You expect no one to show up for you. So how's it going to work? You can only manifest what you believe to be possible. So all these things start showing up and you go, I can't have that. Or you won't see it. You will literally just reject it. People will show up to help you and you'll go, that person's not good enough to help me. They can't do it. People will show up to buy from you and you'll be like, why? It's weird. You'll be suspicious of it. The way you need to be dealing with other people during this time is accepting that you have a role in leading. You have a role in leading, in parenting the divine creation that's coming through you, leading it to its fullest, healthiest, happiest expression, parenting the community of people that you're bringing in around your work, and leading the community of people around your work, and letting yourself receive more than you've ever received before. When we look at the archetype of mother in the current paradigm of society, we're taught that what it means to be a good mom is that you self-sacrifice and you self-abandon. Mom eats last. Mom eats everybody's like leftovers. Mom gets no help. Single mom, abandoned woman left to tend to everything and give everything, leaching the nutrients from her own bones to take care of others. That is not the divine mother. That is not the divine arrangement for the feminine, the exalted feminine, the lifted, the pedestalized, the cared for, the safe, the protected, so that she can pour her nurturing, her creativity, her beauty, her love, her insight into those around her, right? For us to pour, we need to be pouring from somewhere, right? The fullest cup. So allowing yourself to be supported, to be held, to be nurtured, to be cared for by your systems, by your team, by your financial reality, so that you can pour into others from a full cup, so that you can give the way you truly want to give, so that you can give the fullest extent of your expertise, your gifts, your experience, your inspiration, so that you can have more divine ideas, so that you can come up with more creative ways to change the world. All of that requires you to be fully resourced, which means, once again, you've got to let go of the stories that you tell yourself, the expectations that you have that people always let you down and no one ever shows up for you. This is just so loud and clear. You've got to heal the receiving wounds. You've got to let go of the story that you on your own are in charge of everything. That is the only way for you to bring your big ideas into life. So, what is your inspiration or your message from your spirit guides? Your message from your spirit guides is, what do you feel? Not what do you think, not what do other people think. What do you feel? Right? Remember when I said your block is that you're overthinking and underacting? What do you feel in your body? Not what do you think. What you think is a script of societal old messages, old stories, parent voices, teacher voices, other people's opinions, people telling you how hard it's going to be, how long it's going to take. All of that is what you think. That's the stuff that's keeping you stuck and not taking action, is all of the overthinking. But when you get into what you feel in your body, when you look towards your idea, do you feel inspired? Does it open you up? Does it light you up? Or does it make you feel closed and shut down? This is your compass as you move through this process with people, with situations, with your work. Just start moving toward things that feel good in your body. Your brain is going to tell you all kinds of nonsense. We don't even need to listen to that. We don't even need to pay attention to it. Part of your overthinking is that you're doing too much research. What do other people think is the best way to do this? What do other people think is the best strategy? What are other people going to like? What are other people going to respond to? How do I make this so that other people are going to like it, going to love it? What is the best way to do it? How do I write all of that? You're just thinking. You're trying to plan everything out perfectly before you take any action. You're stuck in your head and it is stagnating you. Your spirit guides say, just go on what you feel. Look at something and say, does this feel like the right next step? If your body opens toward it, if it feels exciting and inspiring, even if it's a little scary, go for it. If you find yourself slumping, shut down, I guess I could do it that way, but it doesn't sound that good and it would be hard and I don't love it, that's a no, right? If it feels opening, it's a yes. If it feels closing, it's a no. Simple. If you are a generator in human design, you better tap into that sacral. You better get into that That's what is needed here. What do you feel? Less attention on your thoughts, more focus on your feeling. And feeling words are action words. Now, this is really important because sometimes I ask somebody, what do you feel about this? And they go, I feel like this is never going to work because the way that my team is currently set up, that's not a feeling, that's a story. My over-intellectualizers, my people who have spent a lot of time in talk therapy, a feeling word is tight, hot, heavy, dense, sad. If you're not sure what you feel, Google emotions wheel and point. Google the feelings wheel and point, right? So when they tell me a story, I go, yeah, but what do you feel? And they're like, oh, I guess I feel like it's tight in my throat and heavy in my chest. Okay, that's a feeling. We can work with a feeling. Now let's think about it this way. When I talk about it this way, what do you feel? Oh, I feel open in my chest. I feel lighter. I feel like I sit up straighter. Okay, that's a feeling. We can work with that. It's not a story about what you think might happen. That's not a feeling. So if you're not sure what you feel, look at the stories you're telling yourself, right? I feel like people always let me down. That's not a feeling. That's a story that creates a feeling. You might be having feelings in response to the story, but it's not the feeling. So if you're not sure what you feel and you're not in practice with getting in touch with your feelings, open up the feelings wheel, Google feelings wheel, open it up, look at it, ask your body, what do I feel? And point, be like, oh, I'm scared. Okay, we can work with scared. We can't work with a story that you're making up about what always happens. There's no such thing as always or never when it comes to you. There's no such thing as always or never when it comes to humans. Now, what is our final message on bringing all of this into form? Collaborative dreaming. Collaborative dreaming. It's about people. We need more people. You need help. You need a therapist. You need a coach. You need a team. You need more customers. You need to get with people. Once again, the reason that you're overthinking, the reason that you're scared about your inspired idea, the reason that you're like, oh, this is too big for any one person to do, it's because you're not supposed to do things by yourself. No one who's done anything great in the world has done it alone. And it's like, we know that. We intellectually know that. And then we go, yeah, but I have to. I understand that no one who's done anything great in the world has done it alone. I understand that people have teams and they have coaches, and everyone who's done anything great has done it with the help of lots of people, but I have to do it by myself. No, stop it. Collaborative dreaming. Here's the thing about this hyperindividualism wound. You're fucking lonely and you're desperate for connection. Deep down underneath your hyper-individualism, you are lonely and desperate for connection. What is the story of nobody ever shows up for me the way I show up for other people? No one ever gives as much as I give. No one ever does as much as I do. No one ever comes through the way that I come through. What is that story beyond profound loneliness? I am desperate underneath that story for people to show up for me the way I show up for others. I am desperate for the nurturing that I feel like I didn't get. I am desperate for the recognition, for the love, for the support, for the nurturing of my divinity, the nurturing of my inspired ideas, the nurturing of my creativity that I feel like I did not get from my own mother. Hello, somebody. The nurturing that I did not get from my parents because they were busy. Maybe they're great people. They were just working. They were too busy because they were trying to put food on the table. I did not get the witness, the caring, the encouragement, the hanging up of my macaroni paintings on the refrigerator, the my baby's a genius that I needed as a kid. I did not get the help. I went to people and I said, I'm struggling, and people did not help me. And so I said, at 8 years old, at 9 years old, I'm not asking for anybody for help ever again. You might be operating under a contract that you made when you were a little kid. Sometimes we are, right? Sometimes we entered into a contract when we were kids. We decided in a really steep moment of pain and inner childhood clarity, I'm never going to depend on anyone ever again. We decided I'm not asking for help anymore because I just asked for help and I got really hurt. I am not doing that anymore. And we entered into a contract, and now you're 38 and you're still operating under that 8-year-old contract. You got to let yourself out, right? You need to, today's the solstice, burn it, write down, I release myself from any and all emotional and soul contracts I entered into, proclaiming myself to be alone, unhelpable, unsupportable, proclaiming myself to be unwilling and unable to ask others to support me. proclaiming myself to be unwilling and unable to receive support if I believed that support would come with conditions. Hello, somebody. That is the other reason that we do this. Somebody helped us one time, but then there were conditions attached. And we go, oh, you think you own me if you help me? Great. I'm never asking for help again. I'm going to do it all by myself because I'm not going to let anybody hold anything over me. Receiving wounds. They've got to go. They have got to go. In order for you to have the success you are meant to have, the impact you're meant to have in this world, you have got to stop isolating yourself. This is the only cure for the loneliness underneath the wound. You're now perpetuating the wound. You're now the one isolating yourself. You're now the one keeping yourself from connecting with the very people who would heal the loneliness, who would let you be seen, who would help you, who would pay you, who would celebrate you. You're not letting yourself connect with them because you're so afraid of being hurt the way that you were hurt before. You're so afraid that somebody's going to try to take advantage of you, going to hold something over you, going to let you down, that you are keeping yourself isolated and then saying, no one ever shows up for me, and living in the profound wound of your own now self-perpetuated loneliness. This is why I ain't got notes today. I know that I know you. I see it. One of the things I told a client recently who was telling me, this is a thing that happens with my clients because I used to be like this, so I attract a lot of people who are like this. I don't want to bother you. I need help, but I don't want to bother you. It's literally my job. It's what you're paying me for, and you don't want to bother me? Bother me. Get your money's worth out of me. I'm up my coach's butt. I'm asking hella questions. I'm like, look at this for me. Help me with this. What do I need to do? How do I need to think of this? I'm struggling today. Please support me. I'm paying for support because my mission and my vision are so big that I alone cannot accomplish them, nor do I want to anymore. I don't want to do this shit alone. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be out here hustling by myself. I don't want to be out here telling myself that no one gets me. That is a lonely story, and it's just not true. You're just not letting people see you. You're not letting people in. You're not letting people help you, because when you receive help, you feel uncomfortable with receiving. You have a worthiness wound there where you tell yourself, well, I don't deserve this. That's the second layer of it. First, you're not letting yourself, because when you do get it, you don't like it. Y'all, if you don't have my program, Sacral Sales, get it. You just comment sacral, or you can go to my website, intuitiveedgecoaching.com/sacral sales. Sign yourself up for sacral sales. It's $297. These are all sacral wounds, receiving wounds, letting yourself be witnessed, letting yourself be seen. The bowl of the seat of your personality, the literal bowl that you're sitting in has cracks in it. If you can't accept a compliment, this is you. Somebody says you're beautiful and you go, oh, no, but somebody says I like your work. And you're like, here's all the ways it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Right? Like, you don't accept even like kindness. You don't accept a compliment. How are you going to accept $1 million in sales? How are you going to accept 100,000 followers hanging on your every word who love everything that you do? How are you going to accept people hitting you up and asking to work with you because they love you so much? How are you going to accept that if you don't believe you're worthy of being supported? You gotta clean this up. This has to happen now. This is now the thing standing between you and everything you want. Now, the other thing about this conscious connection card is that because you desperately want greater intimacy in your relationships, you desperately want greater community, greater connection, greater support. That means the relationships you currently have don't give you that. And you know that in order for you to have the thing you want, the greater level of support, the greater level of witnessing, the greater level of intimacy, some of the relationships you currently have are not going to cut the mustard. They are not going to be able to come with you. They're not going to make it. And you are afraid, right? This is scarcity. You're afraid of losing the people that you have because you don't fully yet believe that there's more people out there, right? You're telling yourself it's these people or nobody. I'm not getting met. I'm not getting supported. I'm not getting the things I need, but at least I have these people a little bit. At least I have these relationships where I'm a little bit lonely, but I don't want to have nobody. It's not these people or nobody, y'all. It's these people or everyone the fuck else. There are so many more people out there. You have not met everyone who's going to love you yet. You have not met everyone who's going to support you. You've not met everybody who's going to love your work. You've not met all your customers yet. You're holding on to relationships that are half good out of fear that there's nothing else out there, that you have to settle. There's no more settling. There's no more settling. You cannot do it anymore. You cannot do it unless you want to just stay in this wound of isolation and no one ever shows up for me. No one ever shows up for you because you're accepting that from people. You are staying in relationships where you overgive, where you are depleted, where I'm going to say this. Some of those people would help you. You just don't ask. Some of these people would give more to you and you don't let them. You won't let somebody carry your shit in the house. This is now, like, I'm really feeling that I feel it in my body when I started saying some of these relationships have to go. Some of these people would love to support you more and you literally are not letting them. So you're afraid. If they really knew that I needed help, if they really knew how much support I need, if they really knew how much attention I wanted, if they really knew how famous I wanted to get, if they really knew how rich I wanted to be, they'd leave me. They wouldn't. They fucking love you. They're waiting for you to ask for help. They're waiting for you to ask for more support. They would love to. They're sitting there looking at you being like, why are you playing on hard mode when I'm right here and I would help you? I'm your partner. I'm your friend. I love you. I would love to support you. What can I do? Right? I work for you. I want to do a good job. And you're not telling them what you need. You're not telling them how to support you. You're not telling them how they can show up for you better, right? You're the one holding it back. So a lot of you have people in your life who would do this for you. You're just not letting them in that much. And there's some people who won't. You need to trust in the divine wisdom of life that brings some people into our lives and some people out at exactly the right time and in exactly the right way, according to the grand design of what is meant for us. You're clinging. You're clinging to your old self. You're clinging to your limitations. You're clinging to your old stories. You're clinging to your old outcomes. You're clinging to stories about these people. They're actually mean, y'all. I've been in this relationship on the receiving end too. If you're telling yourself, if this person really knew me, they wouldn't love me, they wouldn't help me, they wouldn't support me. Do you know how painful that is for the person who loves you, who really genuinely loves you? You're thinking badly of them. Your story about them in your head is that they're a fucker. Your story about them in your head is that they're not a loving, kind person who would be there for you. Your story about them in your head is that they are judgmental. That's actually really fucked up. Give them a chance to show you what it's like to be loved and truly supported and truly seen and truly nurtured. Give them a chance to show you. And then you're going to be uncomfortable, and that's your work. You're going to have to sit with like, ooh, it is humbling to be loved this much. It is humbling to be this supported. It is humbling to not have to earn everything, to not have to fight for every inch. Wow. These people love me. They support me. They like me. That's the uncomfortable story for you. If you've lived your whole life with the story that no one likes you, that you're an outsider, that no one really gets you, that you alone have to struggle and suffer, that no one shows up for you, right? You're comfortable there. You know that place. You know how to operate there. Nobody gets to let you down. You just get to stay in this isolated story, right? Like you're risking nothing, sitting on your biscuit, not trying to risk it. Letting yourself be truly loved and supported and feel that people love you and support you simply for who you are, not because you're earning it by doing for them, that's the uncomfortable place for you. That's the place where you don't know how to operate. That's the edge. That's where you have to learn. That's where you have to expand your comfort. And back to what I was saying to my client who was like, oh, I don't want to bother you. Entering into a coaching relationship is a place to practice receiving and asking in a safe way. This is a place where you get to practice, right? Because you're paying, right? Same thing with therapy. I'm paying you to be here for me. There is an exchange happening. It doesn't mean we don't like each other. It doesn't mean it's purely transactional, but it is not somebody who's in your life, right? I, as your coach, don't need anything from you. I want your highest good for you. I want you to reach your goals for you, but I personally don't need anything from you, and you can't let me down and you can't disappoint me. Like, I'm here to support you. So you get to practice asking for help and receiving it and then going, whoa, this is crazy. This is what it feels like to really have somebody show up for me the way I show up for my clients. Okay, this is a place I get to practice. Oh, I'm so uncomfortable asking for help. And I asked and she didn't judge me and she helped me. Okay, well, now that I'm practicing it in my coaching relationship, in my therapy relationship, let me try it with my closest people. Now let me try it with my audience, asking people to show up for me and then seeing them show up and being like, whoa, okay. It was me all along, right? Like it always is. It was me overthinking. It was me telling myself the stories of isolation. It was me holding myself in my loneliness. It was me all along. And it doesn't have to be. If you're the problem, then you're also the solution. Just open that door. So our shadow, there's a lot of shadow work to do this season, right? Cancer, Mercury retrograde, solstice, lot to do inside. Our shadow is the observer. The unbalanced observer gets too stagnant. You're watching, but you're not acting. You're not participating. They can see how everything functions, but they don't believe that they're able to affect the change they want because they're only one person. Holding yourself back from life, telling yourself the story that there's no way you can make the change you want to make. There's no way you can build the dream you have. There's no way you can accomplish the goals you have because you're only one person. This is a form of bypassing. This is you abdicating the responsibility of the bigness of your gift and the bigness of your calling. You can stay in the comfortable story that it's too hard and you're just one person and nobody's going to help you because you're comfortable there and you get to bypass all of the responsibility of your calling. You've got a big calling. You've got a big calling. You're meant to be big. You're meant to be successful. You're meant to make a huge impact on the planet. And that overwhelms you and that feels scary. So as long as you can stay in the sitting back, the analyzing, the observing, the not taking action, the telling yourself, but I'm just one person and it's too hard. And there's no way I can do this myself. And there's literally no one in the world who will help me because I alone have this thing that makes me completely unlovable and unsupportable. Everyone else gets to have help except me. Bypassing. Abdicating the responsibility of your calling. It's you, my friend. That's you. You're doing that. The balanced observer intuitively knows when to be present and observe and when to move. They watch, but they don't do it in a way that harms others. They understand that there's a time and a place for action, right? So this is about discernment. Right? This thing with people in your life, people who don't want to help you, people who don't want you to be big, you just observe. Boundaries. When you see that somebody is moving in a way that's weird, you cut them off. When you hire someone and you see that it's not working out, you let them go. When you're in a relationship and you see that this person cannot support you if you're as big as you're meant to be, you let the relationship go. And when people show up and they do want to help you and they are sincere, when they are coming through for you, you let them in. What do you feel? Not the stories you're telling yourself, not your old conditioned thoughts. What do you feel? When is it time to move? When is it time to hold back? When is it time to let people go? When is it time to let people in? Stop holding yourself back from life. Stop telling yourself the story that it is too much for you to do by yourself. That's because you're not meant to do it by yourself. Stop telling yourself the story that nobody can help you and go get the help that you need and deserve. Tell yourself that you, not just you, your inner child, and the thing you are trying to birth on the planet is worthy of a different kind of support than you might have gotten when you were a child. Are you giving your business the kind of support that you got as a kid that made you feel undersupported? Oh, stop it. Don't parent your business the way you were parented. Parent your business the way you wish you were parented. Don't parent your inner child the way you were parented. Parent your inner child the way you wish you were parented. Your relationship with mothering is the highlight of this Cancer season, this Mercury retrograde. You need to go inside and look at this. Your relationship with the feminine, the divine feminine archetypal energy of receiving, of being protected, of being supported so that you can be in your creativity, in your giving? What is your relationship with that? Do you operate entirely from your doing? Do you operate entirely from your wilted, wounded feminine wound of no one cares about me, no one gives to me? If I don't do, I'm worth less. Big work. You got big work. That's the message that I have for you today. I know I was on your noggin tough, but that's what Spirit had to say. And so that is what we are saying. Once again, I am here to help and I would love to support you. I have 2 one-on-one coaching spots available for the second half of the year. I have 6-month packages and I have 1-year packages. Reach out to me if you would like to discuss working together. I want to see this big vision of yours in the world as big as it is meant to be. And I want to help you get the level of support that you need in order to make this possible. Double down on yourself and your dream. Get yourself the help you need. That's the first step. That's the most self-loving step that you can take, is just to say, I need help and I'm going to get it. I'm not holding myself back by keeping myself under-resourced anymore. Those days are over. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to to subscribe, and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.